Do you know what horses don't worry about? Failing. This is not because they're stupid, it's because unlike human beings, they don't overthink things. Which is exactly what we're going to talk about today, because just to tie it into my own life, very coolly, I was able to debut for Impact Wrestling / TNA the other week. You can check the video out right now and make sure it appears on the screen.
You want to play fun and games? You want to play fun and games, do ya? I've got some games. It's time for the first ever live Ups and Downs. Oh yeah, here we go. Look out!
And there's a down for you.
And something that people kept saying to me is, Simon, do you see this as a great success? Do you see this as achievement? Do you think that you have sort of ticked a massive goal box, I suppose? And while that is true in some sense, because, you know, after the fact I felt good about myself, I had a 6-hour drive home and I was able to smash it out because I had so much adrenaline, it actually brings up a very interesting question, because when it comes to human beings, and we're going to get a bit hoity-toity here, what success is, or the measure of what you believe success to be, can only be relative to you. So we'll keep it with professional wrestling, or tie it into bodybuilding as well, because the first time you take a bump, or the first time you go into the gym, especially if you are quite a lot younger, you probably have illusions of grandeur. You want to main event WrestleMania, you want to be the WWE champion, you want to look like Ronnie Coleman. Now, as the years go by, and all of a sudden these goals seem a little bit further out, mostly because you're not Ronnie Coleman, and therefore you're not going to look like Ronnie Coleman, what a lot of people actually realize is that success doesn't lay within doing these amazing feats that only a few people are going to do. Let's not forget, we're building up to WrestleMania 40 here, and even if 2 people had main event at WrestleMania, that means we're only up to 80 people, and obviously it's going to be a lot less than that. Kind of went a bit off course there. But the point is, and I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times before, is that it's not actually about the destination. It's not about this mythical goal you've made to yourself. It's the fact that you got off your butt and you started doing this stuff to begin with. So let's bring this full circle, and we'll bring back my TNA appearance into this. Am I all of a sudden going to become the biggest wrestler in the world? Probably not. I'm getting on in years. I'm not a young sprite of a man, whatever that means. But this is what a lot of people do. Unless they get to the tippity top of a profession, all of a sudden they put this massive amount of blame on their shoulders and they start to call themselves a failure. And I don't think that's failing at all, because the hardest thing for somebody to do is put themselves in an uncomfortable environment. And I dare to say that 100% of people, when they do first go to the gym, or they first go to a wrestling training session, or you try out, I don't know, rock climbing, you're going to have a little bit of worry deep down in your tum-tum, because you've never been there before. You don't know anyone. We're all just children, even when we do get into our adulthood. And as soon as you do arrive in a situation that feels like it did when you were in school, can you believe it? You're 8 years old and you are back in school again. But it seems mad to me that more people don't pat themselves on the back, because they do feel this. They do go through what could only be described as apprehension and anxiety, and they still push forward regardless. Which means the first time you do take a power slam, or the first time you do a bicep curl, and you're in the fitness palace of love, or you're in a wrestling ring, you've already succeeded, right? You've already done it. You have moved yourself out of your comfortableness. In that place is usually where you develop more as a person, and when all of a sudden you realize, man, I can do this. It wasn't that scary at all. So why then, at some point, do we move on to the next stage? Because sure, you've been smashing those weights for the last 10 years. You've been eating your protein, you've been doing your diet, you've been getting your cardio in. And yet when you look in the mirror, you don't necessarily see the person you want to see. Well, I tell you why. It's because you're you. And even if I came up to you right now and said, bro, you're looking good, the fact that you don't think you look good means it doesn't matter what anybody else says, it's not going to make a bit of difference. What about the last 10 years that you have put into the effort, the blood, the sweat, the tears, and other stereotypical things that we could say until the cows come home? Or horses, given that they started the video. But I really do think it's a culture and a mindset that we have to change, because it's not right. If you are actually going to put so much effort into something, it should be all the little things coming out the other side that you are most pleased with. I don't want to get into this whole enjoy the journey, because of course that's a day-to-day thing. But it's also damn well true. Because there are some individuals out there who just want to sit on their ass and watch television, and more power to them as well. And the difference is, people that have that kind of a brain, it's very much easy to achieve the satisfaction they're looking for, because my couch is right there. So if I take my butt and put it in there, within about 8 seconds, I was able to do this. But the other things that require a lot of your time, well, of course you're going to have moments where you're like, oh, I need more from this. But that's when you have to look back and realize, well, what have I done? Again, when I first started getting into this, I didn't ever think I was going to be on a pay pay-per-view that would be available to be watched worldwide. But even if that never had have happened, at least I know when I get to 65, 75, if I'm blessed enough, 85, I can look back and just say to myself, well, at least you can't regret anything. That's where the secret lies, and something that I want to get across today. It's the regrets that you won't be able to deal with. Nobody can deal with that, because as soon as you get into what ifs, oh my gosh, you'll absolutely melt. But if you do try and be in a band, for example, and you never get to headline Glastonbury, sure, you'll be disappointed. Sure, you'll be a little bit sad in your tum-tum, but then all of a sudden your brain will go, well, you know what? We did try damn hard. You'd be like, you know what, brain? We did. And can you believe it? Now I'm all these years removed. We had a good time doing it. So it is one of these videos where I'm essentially telling you to be kind to yourself and to realize what you already have achieved. Let's use YouTube, given that we're all watching this on YouTube right now. First day I made a YouTube video, did I think I'd be doing the what culture stuff? No. Did I think I'd be able to go to an event like WrestleMania and have people come up to me and say how much they enjoyed me wiggling my finger around? Sounds like a euphemism, it's not. No. Did I think I'd be able to make, I don't know, what, self-help or bodybuilding or nice videos for my own YouTube channel? No, I did not. But the fact that even one person would watch this to me means something. So if you are doing something in your life and you're not 100% sure it's going in the right direction, remember, you're already on the damn road. You're in the car. Just keep driving. And if you don't necessarily get to the destination that you wanted to get to, you should still be pretty proud that you had the cojones to get it going in the first place. And this scales too. Like I say, if I just said to you right now, going into the gym is an achievement, you'd be like, well, not really. I'm just walking into a building. But there are some people out there that think this is the most intimidating thing in the world. And they get in touch with me on my Instagram, cheap plug at Simon Miller 316, because that to them is their Everest. And this once again ties into how we see ourselves as human and how human beings are so different to one another, unlike the horse, which again is basically the same being created times 10. We all have different hope and we all have different dreams and we all want to get something different out of life. But it means that success doesn't actually exist. And the only way that you can get success, walk out of your front door and go do whatever the hell it is that you want to do, as long as it's legal. And even if you do it for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 9 months, and you get to the end of that time and you realize, you know what, this isn't for me, you should still be feeling damn good about yourself, because you can then get your to-do list out and you can cross that one off the list. And given how hard it is to actually figure out what you do want to do, if you know you don't want to do something, and therefore you don't have to invest any more time into it, sounds like a pretty good place to be to me. So mostly, this is just a video for me to tell you to be kind to yourself and to enjoy the day and to remember that this moment right now is all that matters. I know that sounds over the top and it sounds silly, but if you are living in tomorrow, how the hell are you going to enjoy today? As we are here too, I want to be a little bit of a hypocrite and firstly say thank you so much to everyone that did get in touch with me about the TNA/Impact stuff. Again, not in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would be able to do that. But you know what it's done now? And it literally happened within 24 hours. It lit a fire into my ass and I asked myself, much like my dad Goldberg, well, what's next? Because that's what we always do. We chase the dangling carrot, especially when it comes to the gym. If one day you did wake up and you looked in the mirror and you totally enjoyed what you were seeing, well, you'd probably give up. And you probably wouldn't go back, because what's the point? You've already got the perfect body. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the bell ding ding so you know other videos are going live. And look, there is a comment box down there. Share your thoughts, share your feelings, and maybe somebody else will say something nice to you, and that will perk you up for the day. Also, you can go to gorillamind.com/Simon. You can get 10% off. These are supplements that I do use, and I do genuinely think they will help your training if you can afford it. Don't bankrupt yourself. It's not worth it. Also, patreon.com/Simon316. Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. On Cameo, search for Simon Miller. TikTok, Simon J. Miller. And I have merchandise at Samson Athletics and Pro Wrestling Tees. And even then, did I ever think that I would be selling dumb merchandise that people would actually want to buy? No. But it's another thing I can put in my sock and just remind myself that things are going to be okay. And remember, if you're not feeling okay and you genuinely are down in the dumps, go and talk to someone, because that's where real strength lies, by looking at another human right in the face and saying, you know what, I need a little bit of help. Take care of yourself, my friends. I'll see you soon.